Have you ever wondered why some entrepreneurs launch a podcast and suddenly their audience treats them like a trusted advisor instead of just another online voice? And on the flip side, are you worried that if you start a podcast, you'll put out episode after episode and still feel like nobody really knows you, trusts you, or buys from you? In this video, you'll see exactly how to use your podcast to create deep engagement and real trust with your audience. So they don't just listen, they lean in, take notes, and eventually become your best clients. Here's what you'll discover: why podcasting creates a level of intimacy other content can't match, how to structure episodes so listeners feel seen and understood, simple engagement systems that turn passive listeners into active superfans, why podcasting builds unique trust. When someone listens to your podcast, you're literally in their ears while they drive, walk, or work out. That proximity creates a one-to-one coffee chat feeling, even if thousands of people are listening at once. Unlike social media posts that people skim in seconds, podcast listeners often stay with you for 20, 30, even 40 minutes. That repeated long form exposure is what allows your personality, your values, and your expertise to actually sink in. As an entrepreneur, that means your podcast isn't just content. It becomes a consistent trust building ritual your audience comes back to week after week. Make your listener the main character. Deep engagement starts when the listener feels like the show is about them, not about you. Instead of opening episodes with long personal updates, start with a specific problem that your ideal listener is facing. Use language that they'd actually say out loud. You're getting downloads, but no one's joining your email list. You're great at what you do, but you freeze when it's time to hit record. Then clearly state the transformation. What will be different for them by the end of this episode? When listeners can immediately recognize themselves in your stories and examples, they stay locked in because they feel understood, not talked at. Share stories that reveal your character. Facts build respect, stories build connection. Share short, specific stories that show how you think, how you handle challenges, and how you treat clients. Be honest about mistakes, what you learned, and how that lesson now helps your audience. When people hear your real voice, your quirks, your compassion, and even your humor, they start to trust not just your information, but your judgment. That's what moves someone from, I like this podcast, to, I'd love to work with this person. Build two-way engagement systems. Trust deepens when listeners feel like they can talk back. Don't let your podcast be a one-way broadcast. At the end of episodes, give listeners one simple engagement action. DM me the word podcast and tell me your biggest struggle. Screenshot this episode, tag me, and share your favorite takeaway. Answer the question in the show notes poll so I can create episodes just for you. Read listener names and questions on air. Reference past conversations and shout out wins. The more your audience hears people like them on your show, the more they feel part of a real community, not just an anonymous download number. Consistency is the invisible trust builder. Nothing builds or breaks trust faster than consistency. When you release episodes on a predictable schedule and maintain a clear, consistent message, your audience learns they can rely on you. Over time, that reliability becomes part of your brand. Even if episodes aren't perfect, the fact that you keep showing up proves to listeners that you'll also show up for them as clients. Want to start, grow, and monetize your own podcast? Join podcasterpals.com, the #1 free online podcast community.